We're talking to Shaun Terry from Barclays about Pingit today. So Shaun, unusually for a bank, you were given just 90 days to build Pingit. Can you tell us a little bit about how that affected the process and the culture that was required?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it shaped how we worked. So typically in a bank, we do changes, 4 changes a year, very controlled, lots of process, quarterly releases. When we were given 90 days to do this, I'll be honest, the initial reaction, even from the team, was, can't be done. But our kind of mindset was, well, just because no one's done it before doesn't mean it can't be done. And wouldn't it be great if we were the team that did it? So that inspired us to do things differently. So organisationally, one of the first things that we did was we pulled all the people physically together. So whereas people might be on different floors of different buildings in different locations, we called it a hopper model, which was really the idea of absolute collaboration, people sitting together, but not just sitting in the same room together, but at the same tables, designers, builders, testers, all sitting together, working collaboratively. And also trying to get a faster rhythm to delivery. So whereas you might have had a weekly team meeting, a monthly project meeting, and every 3 months got together with the sponsor, we were doing that in a day. So in the morning the team would get together, lunchtime the project team would get together and review what they'd done that day, and then we would sit in front of our key stakeholder every single day. And that was quite scary to start with, because the first day is easy, you've got lots to talk about. Then we suddenly realised, hang on, we've got to be having something to talk about every day. We've got to make progress every day. And it really forced a different behaviour in people. That no one would sit on an issue, no one would sit on a problem, you wouldn't email each other, people were getting up and talking, and instant meetings were kind of being set up to solve the problems. And it was a really healthy way of working. And the sponsor of the work, Shaun Terry, is now the CIO of Barclays. His culture was very much try and create a startup mentality in Barclays, which for a big organisation was a bit of a challenge. But actually now we've done it, the team wouldn't do it any other way. They absolutely love this energy, this daily rhythm, and we still do it. Even though we don't have his daily stakeholder steercos, we still have a steerco with a senior sponsor. And it's almost normal now. And I think if we took that away from the team, I think we'd probably have a negative reaction, whereas to start with, a few people struggled to adjust. Now they have. It's just like a way of life, really.
Barclays is a large, 300-year-old, generally fairly conservative organisation. So how has your approach spread throughout the bank? Are you seeing it taken up by other parts of the business?
I think I'd love to see it spread, but it's taking longer than we perhaps thought. I think what we perhaps didn't realise was that it's not for everyone, and some people find it quite frightening. A large corporate organisation, financial services, heavily regulated. I think some people have struggled to really kind of make that leap of faith. We've also hired in a lot of new, younger people, from schools in apprenticeship schemes, universities into our graduate schemes, and I suppose they're not used to anything else. So when 3/4 of your team is new and they embrace it, it's a lot easier. Going into a team that's already established and trying to change maybe 100, 200 people to a different way of working is a lot more difficult than almost starting a little bit of a greenfield operation, which what we did. But I think the people want to do it. I think everyone who comes into the team and looks at what we do, you can see they want to do it. It feels like the right thing to do. It's just that leap of faith that people have to make, and I think that's what's holding one or two back. But it's starting to gather pace. The senior exec want us to work this way. They're pushing very hard. So my view is, it will happen, and probably happen in the next 12, 18 months. That it'll be visible across the rest of the organisation.
And how has this changed culture spread to how you deal with customers, how you communicate with them and get feedback on the product?
Yeah, so typically if we launched anything, we would do months and months of research, and we'd do all the analysis, and we'd try and second guess everything our customers wanted, and we'd try and get it absolutely right first time. And we used to have programs like quality first and zero defects, and everything was polished and polished and polished, and we'd delay and delay until it was absolutely right. So there was absolutely no risk of anything going wrong. And the difference here was it was very much language like fail fast. It's not if you fail, it's when you fail, and are you ready to deal with all the problems? And people were talking positively about the problems we were going to have. So the difference here was that we knew we were building something really quickly. We didn't really know how the customers were going to react. So we were brave and we launched the products. And the way we found out, rather than waiting for the customers to ring, which was the traditional way, what we soon realised was they would post comments on the App Store, and they'd also use Twitter. So it was good and bad. It was good that the minute we did something, our customers could tell us about it. what was bad was sometimes they didn't exactly hold back in what they thought. You know, Twitter is a very, it encourages people to speak their mind. But, you know, we learned some good ones. You know, a good catch when we launched was a load of 16 and 17-year-olds were talking on Twitter about, why can't I use Pingit? Why do you have to be 18? And we picked up that. And we went to one of our legal people and they said, well, no reason. So within 2 weeks, we'd changed the app and then 16-year-olds could use it. So it is powerful. Rather than waiting, the good thing with Twitter, if you grab something positive, you can use it to your advantage and it works really well.
Barclays is a business that's there to make money for its shareholders, but Pingit doesn't actually bring you in any money at the moment. How are you going to achieve that?
Yeah, so as you say, the app's free to download. There's no levy or payment made on the payments, whereas I know when we did the initial launch, there was a lot of discussion and interviews with, you know, PayPal who do charge, and Barclays was adamant, we're not going to charge for this. And the way we see this making money is through our corporate. So our corporate customers still take a lot of checks, and that's very expensive for them in terms of people and processing. And they're very positive about Pingit. We've actually signed up corporate clients since Pingit who want to bank with Barclays because of Pingit. So what we'll look to do is we'll look to embed Pingit payments into their bill payments, their other processes. So, you know, if somebody sends a phone bill or a credit card bill or you know, utility bill, rather than the current model of write a check, send it back, they have to then process that, QR code, use Pingit, make the payment. So it's making cash payments on bills that people don't want to use, you know, direct debits for. And the corporates are really grabbing this. Also using Pingit for payments out. So companies that disperse money out, so it might be, you know, whether it's the kind of betting business where they're paying money out, or where often there's credits or refunds and that sort of thing, using Pingit for the customer, or as in our corporate customer, to use Pingit to pay back to their customers. So they see a huge, you know, set of opportunities to remove cash from their large corporate accounts and replace that with Pingit payments. And, you know, obviously the savings that they'll make as corporate customers, you know, we can use to, you know, to drive a little bit of a profit from our point of view, and that keeps the payments away from, you know, the actual customers who've got the app in their hand.